Welcome, everyone, to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a cinematic story inspired by the life, the deeply rooted philosophy, and the towering legacy of a true martial arts icon. We're exploring what exactly happens when an unstoppable will meets an immovable obstacle. Time and time again, the world called his ambitions impossible. But Bruce Lee, well, he simply called them another challenge. Every obstacle, every setback, every moment of profound doubt swirling around him literally became pure, unadulterated fuel for a man who absolutely refused to surrender. Throughout this explainer, we're going to break down the mindset of a warrior who never backed down and see how his total refusal to accept the impossible can actually reshape the way we view our very own limitations.
Okay, let's dive into this. For most of the world, the word impossible is a massive brick wall. It's a stop sign. It's society's way of saying, turn around, you really can't go any further. But Bruce Lee's view, completely different. To him, the exact same scenario was just another challenge. He didn't see a brick wall at all. He saw a hurdle that was meant to be cleared. He completely rewired his perceptions so that when people told him what he couldn't do, he immediately started calculating exactly how he was going to do it. Every legend faces that chorus of voices telling them their goals are just too lofty. But instead of debating those critics, Lee chose to let his actions do the talking, proving that impossible is rarely a universal truth, right? It's really just a test of your determination. Section 1. The Impossible Challenge. Answering you can't with action. Section 2. Pain becomes power, the physical toll. And this brilliantly illustrates the whole process. Because let's be real, you don't rewrite the rules of what's possible without enduring an incredible amount of friction. Notice this specific three-step progression. Step 1, face the obstacle. You don't avoid it, you look it dead in the eye. Step 2, endure the setback. Notice the word endure there. It's an acknowledgement that, yeah, it's gonna hurt. Bruises will form and you absolutely might fall down. To turn those impossibles into reality, Lee had to step into a brutal physical crucible, pushing the human body far beyond its perceived breaking point. But then we hit the crucial step 3, turn that pain into a lesson. Every single bruise became a textbook. Every physical setback became a stepping stone, pointing him straight toward greatness. He essentially systemized his suffering into a process for ultimate growth. Pain didn't stop him. It sharpened him. I want you to just let that phrase sit with you for a second. Think about the metaphorical heavy bag strikes of your own life, the broken boards of your own failures. Most people let the pain of those moments dull their ambition, but Bruce Lee? He let it sharpen him like a blade on a whetstone. Every drop of sweat flying in the dojo, every grueling repetition when his muscles were screaming for a break, it all translated directly into power. The pain wasn't a punishment. It was the exact sharpening tool required to cut right through the impossible. Section 3. The unbreakable mind, the true source of power. So, we've talked about the physical crucible, the sweat, the striking, the physical endurance, but that external physical strength was ultimately just a byproduct of a much deeper internal landscape. So, I want to pose a question directly to you. Who is the strongest fighter? The strongest fighter isn't the one with the hardest punch, the fastest kick, or the most perfectly sculpted physique. The strongest fighter is the one who refuses to quit when absolutely everything in their environment, their body, and their circumstances screams, give up. Bruce Lee knew this better than anyone. Meditating in a dark dojo, visualizing his path before exploding into those lightning-fast combinations, it all started with a mental shift. That incredibly fast mental shift, that absolute stubborn refusal to bow out, is infinitely more powerful than any physical punch you could ever throw. So the crucial point is how we redefine the very concept we started with. Based entirely on Lee's philosophy, the impossible is not some final verdict handed down by the universe. Not at all. It is strictly a temporary test, and it's a test that is completely defeated by relentless, uncompromising determination. Once you adopt this definition, you completely strip the word impossible of all its power over you. You start to realize that the limits you perceive are really just illusions, and they are just waiting to be shattered by your own willpower. Section 4. Facing the final test. Stepping forward. Imagine that cinematic mountaintop moment. The storm is raging, the elements are totally against you, and the ultimate test stands directly in your path. This is the moment where theory meets reality. Everything we've discussed so far, the pain, the mental shifts, the endurance, it all culminates in how you react when the mountain stands tallest before you. When the impossible stood in front of him, he didn't step back, he stepped forward. Imagine that powerful imagery for a moment, a storm clearing, golden light breaking through heavy, dark storm clouds just at sunrise. That light represents the absolute triumph of stepping bravely into the unknown. When every instinct tells the average person to retreat to safety, the legend leans in. Stepping forward into the impossible is exactly where greatness is created. Now, what's really interesting about this is the revelation of what the actual opponent was all along. It was fear. The true enemy that defeats great people is fear, not the impossible itself. The impossible doesn't defeat you. Your fear of the impossible defeats you. Bruce Lee's greatest victory across his entire life and his cinematic legacy was never actually over a physical opponent standing across from him on a mat. His absolute greatest victory was over fear and over every single self-imposed limit placed in front of him. Section 5. Becoming the legend, the legacy that never fades. When you completely conquer those internal limits, when you face down fear and step forward anyway, you transcend. You elevate from just being a skilled fighter or a hard worker into something eternal. You become a legend. Let's move on and see how this builds into 3 core philosophical takeaways you can carry with you today. Number 1, never back down. When the world presents you with a challenge that seems entirely out of reach, hold your ground. Remember that the challenge is really just a test of your resolve. Number 2, never stop growing. Take this exact mindset and apply it directly to your own daily battles. The setbacks you face at work, in your personal goals, in your creative endeavors, they are not there to stop you. They're there to sharpen you. Let every single bruise be a lesson that fuels your continuous, unstoppable growth. And finally, become the legend. The impossible is just a limit you can choose to reject right here, right now. You have the unbreakable mind within you. You have the power to turn your pain into a stepping stone. You can literally step out of the shadows of doubt and into the golden light of your own potential. So as we close out this explainer, I want to leave you with this final thought. Look at the mountain in front of you today. What impossible limit will you conquer next? The storm is clearing. The choice is yours. Step forward.